Hello everyone, welcome to the 19th tutorial in Python. Today we're going to be learning about the nested if statement. I'm Sairam and I'm going to be teaching you Python today. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And let's get straight into it. Now let's discuss two special cases of the conditional statement. First, consider the case where the indented statement placed after the if is another if. This is known as a nested if or a nested if-else statement. So let's create an example. If the weather is fine, we'll find a good restaurant and then we'll have lunch there. Otherwise, we'll eat a sandwich. If the weather is poor, we'll go to the theater. If there are no tickets, we'll go shopping in the nearest mall. So let's write the same code in Python. Let's take our if statement. If the weather is good, end it with a colon. If nice restaurant is found, end it with the colon again. Have lunch. Now, remember, this is not actual code to be executed by Python, but it's just some pseudocode to make us understand. Now, we want to add an else statement for eating a sandwich. And remember, this else statement is a part of the if inside the if statement. This if right here, which is inside of the if statement, is called the nested if. So the else also must be there for the nested if. So this whole thing is known as a nested if-else statement. Else, colon, eat a sandwich. Now we want to make another else statement, but this time it's for the main if statement, which is this one. So else, colon, if tickets are available, go to the theater. Else, once again, this is for the nested if, else, go shopping. So now that we've understood the whole thing, let us make it into the actual code. So let's go to our line over here and let's convert this whole thing into some actual working code. So first we require a temperature. Temperature is equal to 35. Anything in our example, anything about 30 is considered as good. A restaurant is equal to found is equal to true. Then if tickets are available, tickets is equal to true. Now that we have our three elements, let us start writing the program. If temperature greater than 30 and we have if restaurant is true, print eat lunch there. Then we have else print eat a sandwich. Then we move on to our else statement. else if tickets is true, print go to the theater. And we put our else print go shopping. Now, if we run this code, first let's remove all this extra code at top. And now if we run it, once again, don't forget the colons. And yeah, eat lunch there. So you can see this whole else statement is not executed because the if statement is true. So if restaurant is true, eat lunch there. Now let's take restaurant is false. Eat a sandwich. Because because the if statement is true, but the nested if statement is false. Therefore, it will execute the nested else statement, which is eat a sandwich. Now, let's take this whole statement as false. For that to be done, we put the temperature as 25, and even if a restaurant is available, it will still not recommend us to eat at a restaurant. And let's take tickets are true. And now if we run it, we can see go to the theater. Now let's take tickets is equal to false. Now if we run it, we can see Python tells us to print go shopping. Therefore, the code is working. Now, how does this code exactly work? This type of use of if, as we have seen before, is known as nesting. Remember that every else refers to the if which lies at the same indentation level. Over here, there are zero indents between for this if and this else. Therefore, this else is for this if. But over here, there is a set of indentations for if, which is the same as a set of indentations for else. Therefore, this else is for this if. And the same thing applies over here. But the only thing is, which you must be thinking, why isn't this else related to this if? This is because this if and else, the nested one, is within this else statement. And this nested if and else is within this if statement. Now, why do we even use indentation? Well, we use indentation to improve the readability of the code. So that the reader of the code, it makes it easier for him to understand and read the code. Now, this use of the if statement is known as nesting. That's it for today. Hope you had a great time learning and make sure to join in on the next tutorial. See you guys soon.